see all four of you back there.
Good, good. So we're a little light in attendance today. It looks like we have a few people joining us on Zoom, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
A little bit of a head count, Amy.
Let's see if I can see how many we've got. We've got 6 people here on Zoom.
Okay, gotcha.
We've got about 12 dozen. Like a dozen with that.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Absolutely.
So
Hello, everybody.
we're excited for the opportunity to start kind of having a home location here at Noble Hospice, because I think that we are, as human beings, creatures of habit. You know, you sit in the same chair at school, same place at church, you're either to the left or to the right. Right? So I'm really appreciative again for Noble Hospice and Brenda here opening up their location for us. And as we grow, we will be on the search for a location that will facilitate hopefully even more attendance. And our last meeting is going to, for 2021, our last meeting is going to be October 28th, Thursday, October 28th. We always take kind of a holiday break, if you will, for November, December, just allow everybody that time to focus on their family and their friends. And then we'll be reconvening in January. So just asking everybody to kind of think about what maybe they want to recommend for future speakers for 2021. And I'm going to speak even a little bit more next week, just kind of about the vision that we have for OACS, maybe I personally have for OACS. And really that is, you know, what we experienced at Senior Information Day is really kind of what I'm hoping to gravitate towards. And that is more of a community outreach, a community response. And so we're going to be really focusing in 2021 our efforts on getting the word out to our local seniors so that hopefully they will attend our meetings and also their adult children, right? We did have, I think he was the janitor that came on Senior Information Day. So he's a perfect example of, you know, the people that we're trying to connect with. And that is the senior that he came with, which was his mother. And then he's the adult child of his senior mom. And, you know, looking to assist her, see what kind of services are out there and available to her. So we're really going to be making a push towards getting the word out. And I think that if our location is consistent, I think seniors will appreciate the like, I know that once a month I can go here, right? And there's going to be a meeting and hopefully their adult children, same thing, right? And just we're hoping it'll be a grassroots movement where word of mouth will take off, social media will take off. We're going to work on trying to get the content out through local publications like local care homes, newspaper, and just really kind of make that push. And then maybe we could facilitate, you know, maybe like twice a year where we're having a little Senior Information Day that OACS is sponsoring, right? Because the long-term vision is to have our OACS meetings almost always be a Senior Information Day, where it's like every single time there's an OACS meeting, if you arrive, you're going to arrive with, you know, tables already set up with all the local providers and services. We'll have our speaker, right? So we'll still be providing hopefully valuable information to our local seniors in the community and their adult children. But I was really hoping to also just provide a consistent platform for our members and our supporters to kind of, you know, be able to communicate their services to the community. So, you know, Amy's been working with me for a few years. I dream big. So my big dream is to be in a venue like maybe the Masonic Lodge or the Senior Information Center here in Modesto, somewhere where we really can create a presence and people know about us. So I just kind of want to keep sharing that vision with all of you who are in attendance every time we meet. I find that in building my real estate team, sharing the vision that we have as a real estate team helps everybody keep kind of pushing forward towards that and thinking about that. So that's really the direction that we're trying to head. So just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that today. So welcome everybody this morning to our OACS meeting. And we are currently at 134 members on Facebook. So super excited. And so again, just, you know, always be thinking about who can I be telling, who can I be inviting, how can I promote this on social media so that we can continue to try to make people aware of our presence and our service that we're trying to provide the community. And I talked enough about our vision this morning, so we'll just go right into the presentation. And we're going to be learning from about Obie for seniors, right, Amy? It's about Obie for seniors.
OBIE, yeah, is the name of it.
Okay, OBIE. It looks like we have Tiffany and Dennis are going to be with us on Zoom today. Or
Yes,
just-
hello, everybody. Nice to meet all of you.
Good morning. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning.
Sharing.
Dennis is also on the call. Dennis is on the call as well. You just can't see him,
Oh,
but he will
okay.
be able to.
Okay,
Yes.
he's got his nice professional headshot and representation today. That works.
Exactly.
Well, actually, I was going to say that I'm having a much better hair day on that picture than I am in reality. So,
Yeah.
Figures the cameras would be out.
yeah, I don't know why the camera's not working, but if you want us to kick off, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to let everybody know that you're going to be speaking on new interactive technology that can be used to help open social experiences for intermixed generations. So we'll hand it off to you. We're looking forward to your presentation.
Sure. And let me kick things off. My name is Dennis Jacobowitz. I actually live in Texas, and Tiffany is with me. She's in Indiana, and I'll let her introduce herself once I do my quick 20-second introduction, I guess. What you're about to see is Obie for seniors. It's really unique in terms of an interactive projection system that seniors can interact with. It's really gamification of activities. So it was developed during COVID because of all the lockdowns within senior living, nursing homes, et cetera, to provide a way that the facility can provide mentally stimulating activities, activities that trigger mobility, movement, and so forth, and a variety of games that are designed for social interaction. So it really accomplishes a lot. What you're going to see is really kind of unique in terms of there are really no game pieces or anything like that. The seniors are interacting with a virtual image that's displayed on a surface. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Tiffany to kind of take it to the next level and maybe give you a little quick glimpse of what Obie is all about.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tiffany. I'm talking to you today from Indiana, where I care for my 93-year-old grandmother. I would normally be in Florida, but here I am. So anyway, I started my journey with Obie due to my love for seniors. And I thought so much about this product that I wanted to change my course of action and definitely work for this company because I believe in it so much. So I'll just get started with the presentation now and jump right in. What Obie is, as Dennis says, is we are meaningful play for seniors. Rather than do a lot more talking about what we are, is I'd like to show you a brief 60-second video of Obie in action so that you can really have that picture that is worth 1,000 words.
Today we played this Obie. I could see the advantage. Great.
Every care home needs to have a system like this because the enhancements in the quality of life that it presents for our residents, every resident deserves it.
All the residents have seemed to really enjoy it. It's very diverse with who can do it. It's nice to have everyone involved. We have one resident that doesn't like coming to activities, and then just watching her interact when she doesn't normally interact was just really nice to see.
We're able to keep our residents safe by sanitizing in between each uses. You can do it on the tabletop. You can do it against the wall. You can project it onto the floor so they can actually be playing games with their feet. This is something that really does bring out some of the best in our residents. You can see from the Obie system with its interactive surface that they're engaging. It's bright, there's things, there's movement, there's other actions from the other residents around them. So cognitively, their mind is getting a great workout, and it's proven that it can actually help them.
On this slide, you'll see some of our awards that we have already won this year in the United States. When I was hired on, we went to the Leading Age California trade show first thing, and we were honored to win the People's Choice Awards there at Leading Age, and the 60-second clip that you saw was from that trade show. The Obie is also pictured on this slide. It is a very smart projector. It picks up any movement that is within 1 to 2 inches of whatever surface it's shining on. Now, I say that because Obie can be played on the table, such as where you are sitting there. It can be played on the floor, or it can be projected against the wall. Obie was born during the COVID crisis. Our company has been around for 15 years, and we have over 10,000 installations in 80 countries in the children's segment, which is called BEAM. We are called Obie, and our company name is iClick. So Obie was born to address certain issues such as social isolation, depression, and then the cognitive and physical decline that we were certainly all feeling during COVID. Obie can also help with issues such as staff overload, which I will show you in just a minute. On this slide, you'll see the gentleman's face just really lighting up as he is interacting with the colors, the sounds, and just immersing himself in the magic of the Obie experience. What we did when we adapted games and we created brand new games was we smoothed down the movement. We reduced the distractions. We avoid any types of negative triggers, and we stay in a non-biased world. And also a great thing about Obie is it is not language-based. So if you have individuals from a different diverse geographic region and languages, they're going to be able to intuitively be able to interact with this system right away, because it is really not a language-based system. Now, all of our games have 4 different, a series of our games, probably about half, 50-50 right now, have 4 different levels of gameplay: introduction, easy, medium, and hard. And these are based on the levels of cognition. So depending, we can run the gamut all the way from memory care to independent living, changing the levels of these different types of games. So I'm just going to jump right in really quickly and show you a couple of games in action. The first one that I would like to show you is called Balloons. I will show you how the game adapts as you change the difficulty level. So I'm going to share my screen right here with you again. We're going to increase this just a little bit in size. Let this ad go away. There we go. And I'm going to show you Balloons right now in the introductory mode. This screen that you're seeing right here is where you toggle on or off the sound effects and change the difficulty level with that remote control that's in her hand. So Balloons in the introductory elementary level looks just like this. You will notice the background right now is completely static. There is no outcome, no win or lose type of a situation. You're just reaching out, increasing your mobility as you reach across the table, and you're interacting, you're socializing. You could have one group with a certain color of balloons and one with another. Now let's advance it just a bit and show multiplayer mode. This is going to give you a little bit of a glimpse of how the games change with difficulty level. So now on each side of the table, they have a little tutorial. The background is no longer static. Now everything is really moving. You have a countdown of the colored balloons in the middle of the Ferris wheel. You have a little timer, and you're just at this point making it a little bit more difficult. This is in collaborative mode. You could give one person one set of balloons, another set. It even had an obstacle there. And this type of a game can track as well increases in mobility over time, how much they can reach, how many correct answers they get. We do have an analytics suite that goes hand in hand when played in individual mode that we can prove these types of changes over time. Another one that is very, very popular that I'd like to show with you next is Bingo. Bingo is hugely popular for everyone, but Obie has certainly reimagined Bingo in a different type of way. So let's take a look at what Obie has done with Bingo. Obie can be programmed with playlists that could have the Obie come on, say, at every day at 2:30 in the activity room, let's say. Bingo could come on. 4 people will be able to sit around the table and immediately begin to play bingo all by themselves, completely unattended. So bingo is pretty self-explanatory here. So it's going to, I'm going to increase it so you can see the end, what happens when somebody gets a bingo. No moving parts to clean up, extremely sanitary, and can be played on kind of an infinite loop. Something to consider with bingo is some of our organizations have had to put a curfew on their Obie specifically because of bingo, because if you let people play as long as they want, sometimes they won't come to lunch or they won't go to bed. So bingo has had that type of a happy problem that has occurred from bingo itself. So this is how Obie has reimagined bingo. I'm going to now, just in lieu of time here, since we have a shorter time than I normally have to do the presentations, going to switch to the floor games now. We have over 50 games for seniors right now, and 24 are in development before the end of the year. The games I'm going to show you next are on the floor. The first one I would like to share with you is a sensory game, and it is called Bloom. Very popular. This can also be used in marketing situations with a logo in the background, which I will share with you. Right here, what you're going to see is a basic cement floor. They're turning on the Obie right now. The Obie is powering up. And now you see some soil, some rocks, you see earth. Now here come some people walking across that projected image, and flowers are now blooming underneath their feet. Please keep an eye on your upper left-hand side of your screen. You're going to see a softball rolling across there. That is how sensitive our sensors with the Obie are, close to the ground. And this is to also show you, you do not have to interact with just your hands, just your feet. You can interact with objects such as balls, pool noodles, for our drumsticks in the person's hand. You could put paintbrushes in the paint by color. You can make it more tactile. It's really up to the activity director. Here's a gentleman in his wheelchair, and he is really increasing his range of motion and just immersing himself in watching those flowers then bloom under his feet. I briefly noted the marketing aspect where you see bloom across the background there. In any of our sensory games, we can create a logo-based program that could be played in a lobby or something like that with the logo of the organization as well. I'm going to briefly then touch on two more games for you before we move on. This game is a soccer or football game based on wherever you are in the world, but I like to show this one because of intergenerational play. Sometimes when you have more than 3-4 generations removed, communication can be strained. Bring an Obie into the situation and just watch all of this change. This is how Obie has reimagined soccer. So they're going to step on the two teams that they are going to want to be, and the game is going to begin. You'll notice the gentleman has a yardstick in his hand. The reason for that is to eventually show you how sensitive that is, that he does not have to kick the ball with his foot or his hand. He can use that yardstick, or I say pool noodle. Please use a soft pool noodle. Don't use yardsticks when you're trying to do this. But this is a soccer game that is wonderful for intergenerational play and also just in a lobby setting. Dennis one time had an installation in Texas where they had this playing in the lobby. It was about 12 feet across because of such of the high ceilings. And two gentlemen just intuitively came up and began kicking the ball back and forth in their wheelchairs with no instruction whatsoever. That's exactly how intuitive our systems are. Now, the last game I'd like to show you, even though we have so many to actually go through, the last one I'd like to show you is a musical-based game, but it also stimulates cognition. We do have a free play version of this where you can play any type of song that you want, kind of like Tom Hanks in the movie Big, let's say, if any of you have seen that. But this particular game here called Maestro is a cognitive game. So it's trying to actually teach them something. Now the keyboard's going to open up here and it's going to show them a series of notes. They're going to light those notes up, and then the individual is going to step up to the keyboard and step on those notes. So we have the E and we have the B, and we're going to level up. So like with all of our games, if you get a correct answer, it's going to get just a little bit harder. Now they have 3 keys they have to step on. Here comes our gentleman in his wheelchair. He's got the D, he's got the E, he's moving up an octave, and he's got his B. And he's leveled up, and he's learned a commonly known song, the Itsy Bitsy Spider. So all of our games are able then to be played from the table, the floor, or the wall. Table and floor, it is just a button on the remote for it to switch between them. It takes very little time. If you want to switch to the wall, you do have to switch the little mirror on it to project towards the wall, but that's the only thing that you would have to change to switch it like that as well. And so to wrap up, what Obie does is we bring light into the senior living and long-term care communities. Every game that we produce is research-based, and it is inspired by published studies and medical advice. So what we do is we encourage movement, we stimulate cognition, and we improve social interactions. And when I say social interactions, it is not just social interactions with the residents. It is social interactions with the residents and the staff, and then also residents and their families. And what we like to say at Obie is we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And we really believe that to be true. So I would like to just ask any of you for any questions. There's a lot that I had to kind of narrow down since we had a short time. So I'll just field your questions, Dennis and I, at this point, please.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what does this cost? What would this range in a facility?
Okay, I'll go over that. Or Dennis, would you like to do the cost thing? Dennis is our Chief Revenue Officer. He'll probably handle that one.
Yeah, actually, the cost is roughly about the same as a big, widescreen TV for the projector system itself. And then there's a subscription, depending on how they want to go with it, a subscription for service and content that's less than $100 a month. So it's really quite reasonable.
So to start up the whole program, give me a ballpark, not the monthly. I want the whole ballpark.
Okay, yeah. So if you were going to go all in, it's about $6,000. And that would give you 3 years of use of our content, full 24/7, 365 service, and actually, as we develop content, you would get that as well. As Tiffany mentioned, we're developing 24 additional activities for seniors from the ground up. So that would come with it as well.
That's the CapEx model. Then we have a classic model that's roughly around that adds the subscription to it, roughly the $3,000 range. And we have a middle hybrid of those two called the Obie Joy. That's 1 year rather than 3, and it's roughly 5 then. So you're at 6, 5, 3, roughly numbers. And I'll be happy, Amy, as well. I'll be happy to, as soon as this presentation is over, I'll send you a copy of the presentation. I'll send you our games list and our price list, and you're welcome to distribute that as you wish.
Right, and it will have contact information, right, for you and Dennis, so people can follow up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And is this like something that, let's say that you did install that, is it typically installed in one location and not moved around frequently? Like if you put it on the ceiling, it kind of like stays there, or is it easy to move from one location to the next?
It's relatively easy. You would just need another ceiling plate. We've had a lot of organizations put one in the lobby and then in the activity room, or just buy one for the lobby and the activity room. There's 4 screws that you have to unscrew in order to take it down. So as long as you had 2 ceiling plates and had the 2 ceiling plates installed in different rooms, you could easily just unscrew it and walk it to the other room.
I have a question for you, Tiffany. I could see this being something that children would love.
Mm-hmm.
Have kind of like a residential version, something that's not intended for like, business use.
Yes, we do have a residential version. We have, our company is called iClick. The children's side is called Beam, and we're called Obie. So we have several different segments of our business, but yes, we absolutely do have an in-home only version of it that is not for commercial use.
And how much would that system run?
I'm not sure on that. Dennis, do you know the answer on that? Dennis and I don't do that. We do the commercial. So Dennis, do you know on that?
No, it's a little less, and the games for children would be different content. So it would not be the activities that were designed for seniors. So it is a little less costly for strictly for home use.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
We'll look it up and provide a link, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well,
Hi,
if Fritz
Tiffany.
is coming, we want to tell people about
Yes,
it.
hi, Tim. Tim,
Yeah,
did you have
hi.
a question?
I do have a question. I was wondering if you have any installations in California and how far reaching your installations are on the West Coast.
Yes, we do. Dennis, the name of a couple, California ones for Tim?
Yeah, actually, at the moment, we have one in Palo Alto. We have others that are going in various other places in the state with senior care communities. People that are looking at it are Silverado, Human Good, Front Porch. They have not installed yet, but these are people that are kind of in the queue at this moment. So we just started with Obie for seniors as a result of COVID at the beginning of the year. So we're just getting underway.
Thank you.
And do you guys need, is there like a special installation? Like, do you guys provide that, or do you just like recommend they find someone to install the system, or how does that aspect of it work?
We have
Yeah,
two different ways to handle that. Installation's $450 if we do it for you. It takes a little bit more time than if you do it yourself to get the person out there, but it's a relatively easy installation if you have somebody on site that does that type of thing, a maintenance staff usually. It's very straightforward, pretty simple to install.
Good. And then you were saying there's like new content that comes out. Is it just like a web-based interface with the program? And so it's just connected to the Wi-Fi, and that's how you are able to access new games?
When new games come out, as long as you are connected to the Wi-Fi, it would be downloaded directly. Now, some places I know have trouble with their Wi-Fi, and something to consider is that our system, once the games are loaded into it, it doesn't have to be connected to Wi-Fi all the time. They're stored on the machine. So even if you have terrible Wi-Fi in the building, as long as you physically unscrew the machine and take it to a place where there's a good connection, you can download all the games, and the games would be stored in the unit itself.
I did have a question. My name is Jose. Piggyback on what Joyce was saying. So I work for a medical college, and I was already thinking about doing something like this in our lounge area for our students. Do you guys have something that would be related to medical field as far as like clinicals or anything, maybe how to properly do a suture or a packing or something educational for like students that are probably ages, I would say 18 to 50? Not so much seniors, not so much children, but I feel like that would be a good, if you guys don't have that, that'd be something.
I think you're right. That sounds very nice. I don't believe we do at this time. Do we, Dennis?
Educational, not really. Most of it is games, but some of the games are used in for rehab purposes, especially on the floor. Various activities that are designed for working on an individual's gait or range of motion or balance, but not necessarily educational. Now we do have Obie that's installed, or actually our sister product Beam, in a lot of schools, educational centers, play centers, museums, and places like that. Tiffany mentioned earlier, there are 10,000 iClick installations across the globe. Most of them are with Beam, the predecessor to Obie, but they're used more for entertainment in those environments rather than educational.
Gotcha.
Is there a way to create any kind of personalized content and add it to your device? Like if you wanted to create like a, like flashcard type, like let's study our test list. Is there a way that you could create that and upload it so that it would be on your device, or is that not?
Not at this point, but it is a projection system. So we are looking at ways in which we could tap into content in that manner and just use it as a projector. And then, of course, then the next stage after that would be to see how we could actually project images and make it interactive. But that's on the drawing board.
Got it.
And then, sorry, real quick again. So there's nothing in between like those ages, like even if they just wanted it, because I was thinking about doing like a Nintendo Wii or like a Xbox Live, so they can have something to interact, maybe just as far as, kind of just to kind of put the cuckoo back in the clock of studying, kind of in a sense. Just to kind of just movement. I mean, we all need it sometimes too, do you have anything like that that's not so senior-ish or childish? Like the in-between crowd?
And they're kind of teenish games.
Actually, there are quite a few activities that are neutral in terms of age. Now, you saw some of the sports type activities. I mean, that would be any age.
Stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Right. There are games that are puzzles to complete. There are paint by number type of activities. There are math problems that can be solved. There's a lot of, one of the intentions of Obie is to have games that are mentally stimulating. So, not everybody has dementia, so we had to provide activities that are really broad range in terms of capability.
I guess our focus groups, Jose, is what I would say right now. It started with the children and now we're in the seniors. So that middle group, we will work on and develop, I'm sure, over time. But right now it's not our focus at this moment. It was children first and now it's seniors. So I wish we did, but I don't think the middle part is a whole lot of extra content between the senior and the children. So.
Okay. Fair enough.
You can also look at the playlist and see if enough of their playlist, because we'll send it over with
Because
them.
our school wants to be a little tech savvy, so we have like virtual reality stuff. So when they're doing their surgical tech, they can see their instruments and stuff like that. So
Oh, wow.
Our school is trying to be very tech savvy, and I can see our boss jumping on this
Yeah.
because it's new, and we want to stand out from different colleges. So that's why I was asking so much for the content, because we do, our age group is between 18 to 50.
And it's for medical. So, I mean, so to speak, wouldn't a lot of them be training for a career in senior care too?
Right.
So, so absolutely. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. You can create playlists, an infinite number of playlists for individuals, for like a collaborative playlist, a music playlist, a sports playlist. So you can create infinite numbers of playlists on the Obie. So the content itself, you could modify and regulate through playlists if you wanted to do it that way. And we would be happy to give any demonstrations, get our name out, of course. We are pretty new to any of your organizations that you would feel might be interested in it. We're always open to demos.
Awesome. Any Zoomers have any questions? Zooming people?
No, thank you. If you can just send us your information, it's something that I believe us in the PACE program would probably like to hear more about, so I can pass it along to the higher peeps.
Your best.
That's right. That's another one we do have, Dennis. it just came to my mind when you said PACE. It was that Bertha that said PACE. Is that you, Bertha? Okay.
Yes.
We do have, I just signed up Center for Elder Independence. They're not installed yet, but they're PACE affiliated in California. And Tim, you were talking about California, I think it was. So Center for Elder Independence is not installed, but that's another California location.
Yeah, it's really perfect for that type of environment. We have many, they're either PACE or adult daycare, and actually one that we just recently did, and I think we have an orientation with them tomorrow in Boston, is a center for their participants have intellectual disabilities, and they're bringing them in for the day and providing a variety of activities that we can actually, with Obie, help them facilitate. And those are all age groups from teenagers up to their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And there's another young lady that came to mind. They have an adult day center in Tracy, that it's another entity, nothing to do with PACE, but I know her from networking, so I'll pass that message along, something that they might benefit from.
Absolutely. We do a lot of work with adult day programs as well. It's very applicable in the same way. So absolutely, we would appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your presentation today. I think this is really cool. So I'm super glad that you crossed our path and we're able to learn about this. And then we'll get this out on social media. So just go to our OACS Facebook page, everybody, and take a moment to share the content so that we can show the people that we're networked with on social media that we have, really valuable information to share during our meetings. If you have any suggestions for future meetings, just put it in the chat box if you're on Zoom, or when we conclude here at the office, just letting you know if you have some ideas for future presenters. And again, our last meeting of the year will be October 28th. We're going to be here at Noble Hospice again, and we're going to be hearing from Dignity Memorial about 4 easy steps to pre-plan for the end of life. That sounds fun. Woo! I can't wait. You know what? It's so important to talk about those kinds of things. We're all going to
Yes.
pass away. We are all
It
going
will
to leave
apply
this
to
earth.
everyone here.
So it's important to be comfortable talking about it and be comfortable talking about it with your loved ones with it and plan. So I think that'll be great. So looking forward to seeing everybody next month. Have a fabulous day.
Thank
Thanks,
you, you
everybody.
too.
Thank you.
Before you guys sign off, do anyone have any announcements of upcoming things? Tim or Bertha, do you guys have anything you want to share with the group about what you guys have coming up?
It's
Yes,
Fall
actually-
Awareness Prevention Week this week. Don't forget.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Tim. Oh, sorry, Bertha, go ahead.
And we have an open house in our Stockton community. I believe Amy was nice enough to, you guys were passed it along. I sent it to you. So if you guys are, you're all welcome to come, invite people. We're just trying to, right now we're doing it in Stockton only. Our building here in Modesto is not completely finished, but we're excited to let everybody know that we're both, in Stanislaus and San Joaquin, and invite family, friends, neighbors, students. We're inviting vendors, just a community outreach, information, senior awareness kind of event that we're having every month. So I hope you all can make it. And like I said, I sent the brochure already, the flyer.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Noble is going to host our first annual trunk or treat on October 30th. So we are going to be sending out flyers to everybody. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 2 o'clock. We do have a car club going to be out there, and we're just going to try to get different vendors and other people to come out and, be part of our community and let them know who their resources are and just keep trying to educate them. And I did a fall prevention this week, Tim, at Tower Park. So, we're trying to help those people prevent their falls and not end up in the hospital or in a SNF.
I also have a trunk or treat on the 22nd for our college as well. We should have vendors as well, vendors and car clubs as well, and tours for our campus.
Oh, fun. Oh, nice. Yeah, send us flyers, both those, and we'll get them out to all of our members.
That's what I was asking you, your date was.
Yeah, oh, good. You can do both. You
No,
want
I
to
made
candy.
Awesome. Any more announcements? Okay, perfect. See, that's why you need an assistant, because when you forget to do things, they catch it. They go, hey, wait a minute, we got one more thing. So no, we always want to give everybody a platform and opportunity to share their upcoming events. So thank you for reminding me to do that today. So, all right, well, everybody have a fabulous day.
Thank
you.
you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiffany.
Yes.